welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya?
Who'd have thought they'd lead ya?
Back here where we need ya.
Back here where we need ya.
Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
FightSaga.com presents Fury vs. Wilder Big Fight Preview with trainers Sugar Hill-Steward and James Gogy.
Guys, welcome back indeed to our very special Sunday night preview for Fury vs. Wilder 3. Guys, coming up this Saturday night, it's fight week, and what a way to kick it off than to speak with the head trainer of the current WBC reigning heavyweight champion, Tyson Fury, none other than Sugar Hill-Steward. Coach, welcome to the program, sir.
Hello, how you doing?
Thank you so much for being a part of this episode, sir. And I tell you what, welcome back indeed. Welcome back to the show, first of all. And welcome back to the...
I was digging the intro music. Welcome back, welcome back.
Oh, I was hoping you would, brother. And you know what? I have to ask you this because you were mentored for this, right? To be back on the biggest stages of boxing, obviously coming up, seeing the late great Emmanuel do it. Does this ever get old to you? Fight week on the biggest stage of boxing, sir.
Joseph, it doesn't get old. This is I guess it's for something I was built in to be, through Emmanuel. I laugh about it sometimes to myself and think about it and say, Emmanuel was like, such a genius in things that he done, the things that he has done and thought, before they happened. And I'm assuming, and I believe that I'm one of them. One of the things that he saw forth in the future, being in this position and being comfortable with it. I've been around it my whole life, big time boxing, since the 80s. And before that, actually, when the amateur, the Crunk team, those guys were amateurs, and they were winning. They were winning. That's all I remember is those guys winning. So, big time boxing, being around it, made for it, built for it, comfortable with it. Get tired of it? No, never.
Yep. You were made for this, mentored into this, sir. And I tell you what, doing a great job. The Kronk brand is still very, very popular, and especially now returning to the biggest stage of boxing. Coach, it's amazing. So when you were first asked to join Team Fury, you had maybe 6 or 7 weeks to work before that big assignment, February of 2020. And you seemed to make an invaluable difference in just a very short amount of time. Now you have this huge time to work with, and it hasn't been very easy. Obviously, coming off that huge career-defining victory for Tyson Fury. And then you've had to wait. And then a pandemic hit. And then arbitration. And then your fighter catches COVID. How has it been to keep Tyson Fury in focus throughout this entire process, sir?
It's all in the day of boxing. Anything's possible. You never fight until you're getting in that ring, until the first bell. So these things are known by me, and it's also known by Tyson. And these are just the things that that happen in life. Period. If it wasn't boxing, it'd be something else. There are always going to be obstacles, and we both know that, and we both understand that. So it's not that difficult. Really, just making the adjustments and waiting and getting through certain things to get to where we are right now.
Well, and here's a quote from your heavyweight champion. He said this recently in an interview to the Daily Star about camp. He said, quote, "I feel terrible, absolutely terrible. But if you did an 8-week training camp and you were just winding down and you feel fantastic, you didn't do it right. If you brutalize your body for 8 weeks, training twice a day, 6 days a week, getting battered to bits and sparring by 4 or 5 different guys at a time, if you feel great, then you're a bionic human being. And in a week's time, I will feel fantastic again," end quote. And obviously, there are a lot of critics and obviously detractors who try to take something negative from that, but he's just speaking the truth this time, isn't he?
You know what? In every camp, I mean, what he says is right, and that's in any sport. In any sport, I mean, you have to work hard, and by working hard, you know, hard work, no pain, no gain. If you're not feeling any kind of hurt, any kind of pain, then you're not pushing yourself. You know, that's why some people don't exercise, because they don't want, and they can't endure that pain, you know, to push themselves to the next level. Even when they're feeling fine after that first week or two, when it's painful, and then to push themselves to another level of pain. That pain brings you the gain. So that's all in a part of it. I mean, I do it myself as a trainer, just training the guys. I have to push myself, because I feel like if I'm better, or try to be better at least, than the fighter, then it just makes it all work. That we're both doing the same thing. We both have similar goals, and for me to have struggles and pains along with that fighter, it makes it even better. To, you know, neither one of us are going to give up and you know, do any less than what we can do, but compete against each other, going through the pain, and knowing that the best is yet to come.
Indeed. Well, we look forward to fight week. We look forward to the big fight. We also look forward to the weigh-in. Now, a lot of critics are calling this the most racially charged heavyweight fight since Holmes versus Cooney in 1982. Will there be heightened security during fight week as well as the fight itself?
I wanted to interrupt you so bad, because I don't know anything about any of that stuff. I don't know anything.
That's because you're a smart man and are devoid of social media, sir.
This is my first time even hearing about it, you know, from you saying it. But I haven't heard about it, and now that you mentioned it, I'm not even thinking about it still. It doesn't you know, that kind of stuff just is not in my head. So that's whether it's you know, boxing or not boxing.
Indeed. Well, good for you, brother. Good for you that you don't partake in any of that noise. And yeah, we'll just hope that promoters have everything covered. Want to give a shout out to everyone tuning in on the chat. We have several questions for you, Coach. Shout out to our brother Mohammed. Thank you for always being a part of the program. Shout out to Iron Fist. Thank you for joining us today. Shout out to Miss Lisa Bales. Thank you, sister, for joining us today. Shout out to my sister, Lady Shan. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's see. Shout out to my brother, Minnie Meal. Thank you for always being a part of the show, sir. Shout out to my brother, Ray Ray. Thank you for joining us, sir. Okay. I think you just answered this one, Coach. Our brother Mohammed says, Fury said he was feeling terrible due to the training hard sparring, but that he'll be fine in a week. He seems like he's not all that confident. You already answered that and said, well, that's just a normal part of camp. And, you know, I'll support that also. Several years ago, I was talking to my friend James Leha, former super featherweight champion. And he said, you know what? He always felt like he got paid to train. Fight night was the easy part. That was the fun part, where the lights, the cameras, all your friends, you dress up, you go and show the gold. He said, but the brutal part of the sport was always in preparation for the big fight. And there was always something, he said, he never felt 100% if he were in camp correctly or properly, like you said. And he never felt 100% going into any major fight. Would you agree with that, Sugar?
You know what? I can agree to a certain extent, but I just know that everybody is different. So
Mm.
it's difficult for me to say that that should be the same. That should be the way everybody feels. But everyone is different. Everyone's body is different. Their mental capacity is different, and things affect each of us as an individual differently. So someone may feel like that, and someone may not. So it's not really a right or wrong. It's just it's just all depends. All boils down to how you perform when you're supposed to perform, which is fight night.
Indeed, indeed. So, my brother Michael from Iron Fist Boxing, and guys, I apologize for the technical difficulties right now. For some reason, we're having a bit of feedback every time I speak. My apologies, guys. But he asks, Coach, does Fury have a plan in case Wilder makes it an ugly fight, like in the Otto Wallin, in which he had, well, a lot of success seemingly, even though he lost? Coach, and I will expound upon that by saying I just heard an interview with Big John Fury in which he said that you guys devised a new strategy for this in this camp for this trilogy match. And he said, obviously, I won't go into it, but he said, trust me, Tyson is going to get him that out of there even quicker in the third fight. Your thoughts on both Iron Fist's question as well as John Fury's comments?
The first question from Iron Fist is, I guess it's a what if question. What if Wilder does this? But to answer that question about Fury's plan, uh, I never train a fighter to go in there with just one plan. So yeah, if something happens, then something else will happen. If something else happens on top of that, then something else happens. It's always something's going to happen. Uh, when something else happens in the ring. That's being vague. But yeah, it's always a plan for a plan. Yeah, and for far as what Big John Fury says, then yeah, I mean we've been working on some things, and yeah, I definitely know that Tyson Fury got the same fighter from that second fight. It's been 20 months that we've been working together consistently, and Tyson Fury's not the same. He's a much more improved fighter, and I'm excited about October the 9th to be able to show the improved Tyson Fury from 20 months prior last, which everyone viewed.
Indeed, indeed. We all look forward to it, Coach. My brother Muhammad says, Coach, Wilder looked funny in the second fight before the first bell. His eyes look weird and his legs look weak. Trainer Robert Garcia said he noticed that as well. Did you notice it before the rematch, Coach?
I didn't notice anything like that. I mean, uh, I, I'm not one to watch. I haven't watched all of Wilder's fights to know if something is different about him or not. But with that being said, if something was wrong with him, I mean, I've heard a lot. So if something was wrong with him, then I just hope it's fixed and taken care of. So it's not to be a problem October the 9th.
Indeed. And Coach Malachi joins us from New Media Today US Boxing. And I think he already addressed that, Coach. My apologies for not getting it up sooner. He says, ask Coach if you're prepared for all of the threats that Wilder and Malik Scott are talking online about what they plan on doing to Tyson in the ring. Yes, he already addressed that, sir.
I don't even know what they have planned, honestly, because I don't even watch. For me to train my fighter, Tyson Fury, I train him as if I was training Deontay Wilder to be Tyson Fury. So what they have planned and think about and planned and thought about may be totally different than what I would think.
Well, who knows? Who knows, guys? We'll find out this Saturday.
We only know on October the 9th was going to happen. We only know then. Everything else is just a guessing game. You don't know what somebody's going to do. You don't know what they're training for or anything like that. So you have to just try to prepare for everything. Prepare for what you think is going to happen. It's just a guessing game.
Indeed, indeed, that's absolutely right. You know, considering his mental makeup and Tyson Fury being very outspoken in criticizing Deontay Wilder because of all of the, well, absurd excuses that he's made up to this point, would you guys be prepared for something like a Mike Tyson Holyfield rematch?
Honestly, I don't know. Like I said, just try to prepare for everything. Think of everything. Nothing is thought of too much, but it's thought of. And I feel in order to be successful, you have to at least think about it, and have a plan or something like that. Have some sort of thought about it, even to be able to deal with it when the time comes, if it comes.
Indeed, you have to be prepared for everything in the ring and protect yourself at all times. Our sister Lady Chan says, how did you see AJ's performance against Usyk, and what would you recommend he does for the rematch to get the win?
This will be easy. So yeah, watching the fight, I sat down with the team. We were sitting here. 30 seconds in, I said, I'm not watching this anymore. This is some BS. I'm not watching. And 1 minute into the fight, I got up and left and went outside. I started barbecuing. Yeah, that's what I wouldn't watch it. I refused to watch it. Yeah.
Wow.
I had my own vision of how it was going to go, and that's about what happened. Yeah, pretty much. So that was enough for me, 30 seconds. 1 minute, actually.
Wow. Were you a bit disappointed that AJ lost, or could you care less?
Actually, I don't really care less because that's him and his problem. The fight that I have, the fight that I'm worried about is the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight, because that's October the 9th, and I shouldn't be thinking of anything else other than that. And a lot of times I don't, I'm maybe not as entertaining because I won't entertain those questions with answers because it's not a priority to me. And I do separate my priorities, very well, I believe. And, the fight October 9th is my priority. So anything else happening outside that, I don't really care about, to be honest. And it's just the truth. That's how I am in camp when the guys are sitting around asking about other fights. I don't really have a comment about it because it doesn't really concern me. My focus is the fight that I have in front of me all the time.
Indeed. So during camp, Coach, what were the things that you were looking for from Tyson Fury that let you know that, one, he didn't have any lingering symptoms of COVID, and two, he was going to be ready for October 9th?
Well, I wasn't really worried about COVID. That didn't even cross my mind. He was okay and cleared from that, and we started training. I didn't see any slowdown in his training, so didn't even think about COVID until you said something about it. And as far as him training, what I was looking for was him to just do the things that we've been practicing, learn a few more things, and that's about it. Not too much. I don't want to do too much with him because we've still only spent 20 months together. And as when you have amateur boxers bringing them up, you spend years together. So this is just the start of it, and trying to put too many things in Tyson's head too soon, he'll probably forget most of it. So it's best to just take our time and to put a little bit together at a time and just watch it flourish, watch it grow.
Indeed, indeed. Well, we look forward to the best version of both fighters, hopefully this Saturday night. Coach, now it was announced shortly in the first week of July that the referee was going to be Mike Ortega, and the judges were going to be Tim Cheatham, David Moretti, and Patricia Morse-Jarman. Three very competent veteran judges and a competent veteran big referee, third man in the ring. Are they still going to be the gentlemen and are they still going to be the judges and the ref for this fight on Saturday, sir?
I have no idea. I'm so shallow with boxing sometimes because when I get locked in, I'm locked in. I'm locked in for this fight. October the 9th, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, that's it. The judges, I'm not really bothered about. The referee, I'm not bothered about. I wasn't bothered about it the last time. I just told him whatever. It doesn't really matter to me because I'm only trying to go out there and do one job with my fighter, and that's to get a knockout. So
Mm.
we need the judges or the referee. We need the referee, I guess, to count them out or to acknowledge that the towel has been thrown in. But other than that, it doesn't really bother me too much who's in there. As long as I shouldn't say as long as they stay out the way, but it's boxing, so you have to. It's two men in there with a referee. The referee's job mostly is to stay out the way. If the fight's going on the way a fight should be, then the referee wants to be invisible. So yeah, doesn't really think about that too much. It doesn't bother me. Um, yeah, I guess I've said enough about that.
Well, in this fight, something tells me, Coach, that Mike Ortega is going to play a pivotal role in this, consistently having to separate the two behemoths in the ring. And Mike Ortega is a very competent guy, doesn't allow you to excessively hold, and is a very big guy who has grown accustomed to working heavyweight fights. So this is going to be an advantage to the fans watching. Should be an excellent. I think this is a brilliant pairing by the Nevada State Athletic Commission.
Listen, the advantage to the fans is that you got two fighters and Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury that have both improved over the course of 20 months. That's what's exciting and what's going to be exciting for the fans.
Indeed. So what kind of improvement are you anticipating from Deontay Wilder?
To be honest, I'm assuming that he should be boxing. He should be more, alert of the, how to use the ring and not looking for one punch, pretty much. Just be alert, be ready, and yeah. I don't think too much about it. I just know, he just got to be ready. He has to be ready for everything, just like we have to be ready for everything.
It's amazing going into the rematch, and like I stated, you didn't have very much time when taking on this assignment. How are you able to change the culture and the mindset of Tyson Fury in that short amount of time, sir?
Well, if I reveal that information, then I'd be out of a job a lot of times. So I can't reveal how I do things. It is certain ways that I do certain things and that I know that work. And all of that was, taken into effect for the second fight in that short time that I was allowed to train Tyson Fury. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of it has to do with experience and just watching and just using things that that work. Simple as that. It's actually teaching. So yeah, you have to be able to teach and to communicate with your fighter for these kind of things to happen. If that's giving away a little bit of the secret.
Sugar, you don't give away anything, brother.
I worked in the court for like 11, 12 years. So yeah, I can answer a question the way I want to answer it.
Yep, I was saying you've turned into the consummate professional, brother. You don't reveal anything, man. It's amazing to hear, man. And congratulations to you, man, for being in this position, brother. And yeah, we really look forward to this fight coming up. And I'll say this. It was amazing because of the long drawn out wait. I think it's actually helped fans actually get up for this third fight because last year at this time, most people they didn't really see any need for a third fight because of how one-sided and what a dominant performance it was for Tyson Fury. Do you feel that the layoff has actually helped stoke anticipation for this fight?
I actually do because at that time, people were not even thinking about fights so much to say. They were thinking about, the welfare and being of the different communities all around the world because of the corona COVID virus going on around the world, making people sick and taking lives. So that was more of a big concern than boxing. So now that things have settled down a little bit more, and I guess not really normal, but things are pushing towards being somewhat of a what we used to call normal. People are able to relax a bit more and to enjoy sports and other things such as boxing. So now, I believe that the people are now, yeah, they're able to just take their mind off of the coronavirus a bit more, knowing how to deal with it and how to protect themselves and different signs to look for, and getting tested a lot more and vaccinated. So these type of things are just helping people to just relax and settle back into their lives of what they do, which is watching sports, maybe doing some activities, visiting friends, and yeah. So definitely, it's been a big change from last year, 1 year ago.
Indeed, indeed. W. Riles joined us and says Wilder improved by twerking.
Hey,
See, that's
if you are twerking, it does work certain muscles. I'm sure that will help you.
Man, you are so politically correct. I love it, Sugar. So, I know you guys are already in Vegas. When is the planned grand arrival? Is that going to be on Tuesday, sir?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, for me, Tyson, we live out here in Las Vegas right now, training for this fight in preparation from the previous scheduled fight to now. So I'm not really, I don't really know when we're going to arrive. Arrive to what? We have a press conference on Wednesday, so I guess
That's right.
I guess that's the arrival. Will be Wednesday.
Well, customarily, the promoters will schedule an arrival at the MGM Grand.
As far as checking into a hotel, we're not checking into the hotel like that. We'll be staying at our training camp at the house.
Very good. And you guys have conducted.
We'll continue things as normal as we did the last in the previous fight.
Excellent. So Tyson has actually stated that he feels preparation with fellow heavyweight Jared Anderson, who's also going to be on the card. He listed that as a secret weapon, but he didn't expound on that. Would you care to expound on his comments?
I can expound on it since I'm such a great talker and I reveal all the information, all the goodies. But yeah, Jared Anderson, he's the secret sauce, So yeah, we like Jared a lot, and Jared is a very good boxer. I've watched him grow from the first time that we had camp, and actually before that, because I've known him before that, and I watched him grow into a fine boxer, and I think he'll be having an electrifying performance on the 9th as well, along with Tyson Fury. So both of those two guys, they enjoy working with each other, and they enjoy each other as well, because what Tyson tells me is Jared reminds him of a younger him, where he's going to give everything that he has and he wants to learn, and he's been showing that thus far.
Wow, excellent. Well, we look forward to his performance on the first bout of the pay-per-view broadcast. On the undercard, how is J-Rock doing in his preparation? Is he still going to be competing on this fight card, sir?
I just talked to him, so yeah. Julian is still fighting October 9th as well.
How has his preparation been, sir?
From what I heard, from what he's telling me, I mean, yeah, everything's perfect. He's ready. He's 100% ready, and he's excited about it.
That's outstanding. Our brother Frank joins us, and just a couple more, Sugar, and we'll get you off the air, sir. We want to thank you for devoting your time in this exclusive interview. Frank says Fury was unable to KO Wilder properly, whatever that means, in the last fight, finished on his feet. Have you trained to KO Wilder properly in this fight? And if so, will it be early?
I like what you said, whatever that means. I don't know whatever. The towel was thrown in, so I mean, what can you do about that?
Indeed.
Do I train Fury for a knockout? Yes, definitely, 100%.
Indeed. So I guess that answers this question from our brother Outlaw Pugilist. Thank you for joining us. Can you ask Brother Sugar, has Tyson been working on increasing his punching power for the trilogy?
Tyson Fury has been working on his techniques in all aspects of boxing. Would that include punching power? Yes.
Indeed. Frank says, as in lights out. Thank you. Well, Coach, we're at the 30-minute mark. That's about it for you. We appreciate your time today, and we wish you the best of luck, sir. On Saturday, we'll all be tuning in. We advise everyone to purchase this pay-per-view on ESPN and Fox pay-per-view. Sugar, would you like to give everyone your parting shots and something to expect on Saturday, October 9th?
Yeah, just expect a knockout. That's all we work for is knockouts. So, yes, that's what I'm looking forward to, a Tyson Fury knocking out Deontay Wilder the second time. And, yeah, let's move on after that. Other than that, nothing else to say from me except for Sugar.
Thank you, Sugar. Always a pleasure, sir. God bless you, brother, and best of luck. You guys be safe.
All right, thank you. Glad to be on the show again. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Indeed. Thank you, Brother Sugar. We appreciate it, my friend. We'll talk to you later on, brother. Good luck.
Take care.
Hey, Joe.
And guys, at this time, we're introducing Coach James Gogy, who's going to help us break down and analyze and hopefully give us a greater idea of what to expect this Saturday night, the only way Coach Gogy knows how, in, analyzing
I ask him a couple of questions
of both fighters. I'm sorry, sir. My apologies.
I wanted to ask him a couple of questions, man. What happened?
Oh, I'm sorry, man. My apologies, brother. My apologies, sir. Well, what questions did you want to ask him, brother? Just out of curiosity.
Well, there's a few questions I want to ask him. You know what I mean? About it's all right, man. It's over with.
My apologies, brother. You need to communicate with me on Messenger, man, like we talked about. Because I can't hear anything you're saying when you're in the queue, right? My apologies, but guys, we want to thank you for hanging on with us. And Coach Gogy is going to help us break down and analyze this big fight. Outlaw Pugilists, thank you to Javen. Joseph, check your Cash App. God bless you, brother. Thank you so much, man. And if anyone else would like to donate to War Week Radio, you can use Cash App, $War Week. Thank you so much. And guys, thank all of you for your prayers and all of your kind thoughts and your direct messages. I really, really appreciate it, guys. And yeah, thank you for helping me deal with this ailment. And yeah, the show almost wasn't going to happen. But thanks to you guys, and thanks to my brother Javen, as well as my brother James Gogy, we are here live on the air. So thank you guys. Frank, big up to Sugar Hill. Indeed. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. So, Coach, your thoughts on, the not very divulgent Sugar Hill.
That's why I wanted to ask him questions and everything, man. There's a way you can open up a guy. It's the questions you ask him as a coach. All right. So, you know what I mean? I know how to, I know the questions he'll answer and the questions he won't answer. You know what I mean? So, I just, I know how to answer the questions and get the answer and know what's behind the scene, what he's talking about. People out there that, that never coached before, I could pick up the hidden language, what he's trying to say. Okay, he's gonna watch what he says. It's a big fight. He don't want to divulge anything, but just by answering, asking the questions, I got I gotta feel what the true answer is. You know what I mean? Instead of the political smoke screens, like a politician they throw up. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah,
a hidden meaning. There's a hidden meaning behind every answer.
he's
And
gotten
that's why I
really
wanted to ask him some questions. That's
well,
why I wanted to
yeah.
ask him some questions, and I could pretty much figure out what he's saying.
Well, my apologies, brother, but yeah, next time message me on Messenger, bro, so we can communicate that. Because I have no idea, I have no way of knowing that, Coach. So moving on from that, Coach. Well, were you able to divulge anything? Because Sugar has become the most proficient at remaining politically correct and not divulging anything to the media. He's become probably the best at toying with the media
Yeah,
of all elite level trainers. Did you get
he
anything?
knows how to keep his mouth shut. He knows how to keep his mouth shut. Okay, bottom line.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He don't need to get on Instagram or all those social medias like Wilder and his team. He don't. It's bullshit. You know what I mean? That don't win fights. Okay, keeping your mouth
Mm-hmm.
shut, focusing on your game plan, what you want to do, whatever your opponent's doing, that's on you, man. Like he was saying, they just focus on what they got to do to get the knockout. Whatever Wilder and them motherfuckers are doing, oh well. We'll adapt to him. Come once we get in the ring, my fighter will adapt to everything he has, and we'll have an answer to everything he has. That's what he's saying. That's what a real trainer does, man. They don't get caught up in all the bullshit with the other camps doing. They don't watch 50 hours of film on his opponent. It's bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They just focus on what they got to do to get better. Okay, then when they get in that ring, they'll make the adjustments.
Indeed. Well, on that note, let's go over the tail of the tape for the title challenger, which is going to be the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder. He comes into the ring fighting out of the orthodox stance. He stands 6'7" tall in the center of the ring, fights behind a lengthy 83-inch reach from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He comes into the ring with an impressive record, 42 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 41 big wins coming by way of knockout. Coach Gogy, what are the strengths and weaknesses of Deontay Wilder?
He's an explosive puncher, can knock you out at any time. He's always dangerous in a fight. You never get lazy or lackadaisical with him. All right? Don't take him for granted. You respect his power, or you'll be on your ass, okay? Right hand. He's a one-handed fighter, Joe, from what I've seen. He don't have no fucking jab. He don't have no other punch out there that's worth a shit. Maybe a left hook. He throws once in a while, but he's predominant right hand, okay? That's his bread and butter. That's what pays the bills. That's what signs the checks, okay? He basically fights like a fucking amateur, a guy with, 15 amateur fight, like a Golden Glove novice. He doesn't know how to jab effectively, to set up that big right hand, to set up combinations, to control range and distance, okay? He doesn't throw aesthetically beautiful combination. He windmills his punches. You know what I mean? He wings them in there, from all crazy directions. Looks, amateurish. He leaves himself out of, he gets himself off balance a lot because he wings his punches, and you know what I mean? And he's lunging forward and all that. He's a complete amateur and everything. But, he thinks out there. He's crafty out there. He'll try to set some traps. But you got to watch out. You know what I mean? But to me, he's just a one-handed fighter. I want to see if he added the other, developed his jab, which is the number one weapon in boxing. When you can punch like that, man, you got to be able to set that punch up. It's going to be able to make your right hand land better. But I want to see if his cheerleading coach has developed that right hand of his. That left jab of his. Then once you develop that left jab, Joe, everything will follow: the right hand, left hooks, the combinations, and everything. But to me, he's just a one-handed fighter. That's his biggest strength. His weaknesses, you name it. You know what I mean? Chin stuck up in the air, gets hit, wild. Fights like an amateur. You know what I mean? When you put that pressure in right here, he don't know how to fight. He don't know how to fight up close. like I just said, he don't know how to set everything up with his jab. He's gotten far because he has, he's explosive. Okay, he'll take you out at any time. That's what's got him this far in the game. Okay, but as you go up the ladder in this business, the cream rises to the top. You better have you better have a lot of dimensions to your game, okay, to fight those guys at the top level. Because you gotta, like I said, you gotta adjust your game plan. And if you ain't got the tools or the weapons in your arsenal to make those adjustments, then you're just gonna be one-dimensional, which like he is with the right hand and everything.
Indeed.
That's all. He ain't got shit. He just can hit.
Well,
yeah.
Before we actually rattle off the tape for the current reigning champion, we got a question from our brother Frank. He says, Coach Gogy, what are your thoughts on Malik Scott? He seems to talk to Wilder like his child. Claims Wilder is 10 times more skilled than Ali. He surely can't believe this shit. Is he just a puppet master? What are your thoughts?
More psychology. Okay, when you get knocked the fuck out like Wilder did his last fight, your psyche's destroyed. Malik is, what do you call it? He knows how to massage that ego, to get all the demons, the negativity out of his mind, and replace it with a lot of positive thoughts, feeling good about himself. That's the main thing. That's what a cheerleader does. You know what I mean? He makes you feel good about yourself. He makes you feel positive, confident. That's what Malik Scott is doing, man. He ain't doing shit. He ain't going to be able to do shit to me in such a short amount of time to make him, grow from here to here in order to fight a guy like Tyson Fury, who's a multi-dimensional predator. Okay, knows how to fight, who's been fighting a long time since he was a little kid. Okay, well, Wilder, he just got into boxing when he was 19 years old. Okay, that's a big difference when you're fighting from 8 or 9 years old than when you start boxing at 19 years old. Okay, there's that big gap. Okay, of levels. Okay, which Tyson, what do you call it? Because of his experience, he gained those levels. Those levels. What do you call it? The layers to his game as he emerged from a 8-year young kid into an adult. He developed those layers to his game, the levels. Wilder, he just started boxing late, man. He had a few amateur fights, He was on the Olympic team, had a few international matches. He didn't have a really big, extensive amateur background. He was learning on the job as a pro. You can see all those bums he was fighting when he was with Golden Boy.
Yep.
God awful opponents, man. Because he didn't know how to fight. And he still doesn't know how to fight.
Indeed, Frank states, with such a fragile ego, surely Wilder will crumble mentally in the trilogy, just as he did in the rematch now, right? Ego massage is papering over the cracks. Thanks for sharing your knowledge, Coach. Yes, thanks indeed, Coach. And so on that, go ahead, sir.
When he gets hit, when he starts getting hit by them right hands and them long, stiff jabs, yeah, he'll start forgetting everything that Malik taught him.
And there it is. That seems to be the consensus. That's exactly what Tyson Fury and his father stated. So right now, we're going to rattle off the tape for the current WBC heavyweight champion, Tyson Fury. The Gypsy King will come to the ring. He fights out of the orthodox stance. Actually, he's a switch hitter. He stands 6'9" tall in the center of the ring, fights behind a lengthy 85-inch reach from Lancashire, the UK. He comes into the ring with a very impressive record, 30 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw, 21 big wins coming by way of knockout. Coach Gogy, what are the strengths and weaknesses of the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury?
Athletic big man, 6'9", mobile, agile, versatile, very skilled, intelligent, high boxing IQ, Joe, for a heavyweight. Yeah, he could throw every punch in the book. Okay, and you know what, Joe? To me, it's his heart. That's his number one thing. His heart. For him to get knocked down by Deontay Wilder twice and get up, especially after that second knockdown. Oh my God, that showed me he had the heart of a champion. Okay, it's heart to me. All the other stuff I said before is important. You know, he's been boxing as a little kid. You know, he grew into the sport. Wilder was a grown man when he got into sport. It's a big difference. Just like Joshua and Usyk. Usyk grew into the sport. All those layers to his game was being developed since he was a little kid. Well, Joshua didn't have that. It didn't have that youth experience to develop, to acquire those levels, to build those layers growing up. Tyson Fury did. Wilder did. That's why you see the big disparity in not talent, but boxing skill, IQ. But his heart, to me, he's a fighter. Tyson Fury's a fighter. You know, he's got a heart of a champion. Okay, to come down from the knockdowns, it takes a special person with a high character. Larry Holmes, Muhammad Ali. You know what I mean? Yeah. Joe Frazier. Yeah, warrior. He's a warrior. He got my respect.
Indeed.
And he's got a long stiff jab that's going to be busting up Deontay Wilder next Saturday.
Wow, I tell you what, wow, I ponder then, what are your keys to victory for Deontay Wilder? Because it seems like, well, he's got a puncher's chance in this. And obviously in the heavyweight division, a puncher's chance means a lot more than in any other weight class that you discuss a matchup, right? But it's still merely a puncher's chance.
Remember I told you, Joe, a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
A long time ago, Larry Goosen told me, if you want to make it in the heavyweight division, you better have a good chin, you better be in good shape, and you got to be a good puncher. If you got those three attributes, you're gonna go far in the heavyweight division. Look at that slow ass molasses Joe Joyce. Look how far he's gotten. He slows molasses, those combinations like, oh God, like a snail, a crawling. You know what I mean? Not very talented, but he's strong. He's in condition. He's got a good chin, and he's got a good jab. That's it. But he's slow as molasses. Yeah, but he's gotten a long way off that.
Yes, he has. He's been he was the reigning WBC champion for almost 5 years because of that. You're absolutely right. Coach, we go to the chat room before you list your keys to victory. Brother Muhammad asks, Coach, do you like Wilder's chances if he's actually learned to back up in a straight line and if he disguises his right hand and works the body?
Disguises his right hand. Hell, man, he just only way he's gonna hide that right hand if he had an effective jab. That'll set up your right hand. Okay, if your jab is effective, that right hand should follow. That's the only way you're gonna hide it. Work the body. Oh, come on, man. You see the way they were working the body on social media, on Instagram or Twitter.
Oh, geez.
I was hitting that body shot of Malik Scott. He was hitting it like a little bitch, slapping him like this. You know, I mean, that ain't the proper way to throw body shots. Watch him on Instagram when he's bitch slapping Malik to the body with those shots. He was all arm punches.
Yep.
You know what I mean? There's like Sugar was saying. He was improving Tyson's power by improving his technique, getting more leverage into the punch, okay? Getting the weight behind the punch, getting the mechanics right. Just like hitting a golf ball, man. You want to hit a golf ball right? Your mechanics, technique's got to be right. Hit a baseball, same thing. Mechanics and technique got to be right. No different from boxing. You want to add more power to your body punches, your technique's got to be right, okay? And the power from the body shots comes from where? Your legs. Comes from the ground up. Setting your feet good. Getting your legs and weight behind the punches. Okay? And rotating your weight into the punches. Wilder, he was just like this. Slapping. I mean, come on. He was slapping Malik to the body like a little bitch. I mean, the technique is all wrong, man. It's a body. If Tyson gets hurt by one of those body shots, I'm like, man, I'd be shocked.
Indeed, indeed. Frank says, can you ask Gogy to make a prediction? Does it go early or late? Feel free to pick a round. Haha, thanks. Well, Frank, Coach Gogy always gives a prediction after he gives his keys to victory, and we'll go right into that. Like a little bitch. I love it.
Yeah.
Coach Gogy, so what are the keys to victory for the title challenger on Saturday night, Deontay Wilder?
Do his thing. Establish that long flagpole jab, I call it. Nice and stiff. That's what set everything up last time, Joe. If you watched the fight, it was that jab, that long, stiff jab. And it had weight behind it, too. So it was like getting hit by a right hand. Boom, boom.
No. We're talking about
That's
the keys
how
to
Wilder's
victory.
face was.
No, we're talking about the keys to victory for Deontay
I'm
Wilder.
talking about.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
I'm talking about Fury.
Okay.
Yeah. When he fought Wilder, he kept landing that long flagpole jab, I call it. Nice and stiff with some weight behind it. And Wilder's face kept on going back and back and back. And that started, I said, there's 3 ways you break a guy down. It's a process. It starts with a good jab, good defense, and body punching. And he did it. He started it with number 1. Breaking Wilder down with a good stiff jab. From there, his right hand came over the top. He looped it sometimes. It was straight. He threw that sweeping right hook to the body off that jab. Because he had an effective jab, he was able to lead with a left hook a couple of times because Wilder wasn't expecting it. He was expecting that jab coming. But, he lead it. He snuck in that left hook, that lead left hook. What else? What do you call it? That jab, once you hit him with the jab, you could change your jab and start touching you with the jab to change, to give you a different variation, a different look. It's like a major league pitcher who has who could blow you away with a fastball. Then all of a sudden he changes the speed on his pitches by throwing you a pitch with movement, like a curve or a slider. It'll break your timing and rhythm to counter it or just throw you off. So when you hit your guy with nice hard jabs, you can't do that all the time because the Wilder adjusts. That's why you got to start touching them a lot and feinting them a lot too. Feinting them a lot. But Fury's got a high IQ. Like I said, he's grew up in this shit. Okay? He knows how to feint you, to keep you off balance, to keep you frozen. Then he could get off on his offense. Then Fury, like I said, Joe, when you devise a game plan, you got to devise it from all. You there? Yeah. When you devise a game plan for a fight, I always devise it for all ranges, short, medium, and long. When he's at long range, establish that jab. Boom, boom. Downstairs too. Feint him a lot, touch him a lot with the jabs. A lot of quick touch jabs, then follow with the right hand. Then once you start nailing him with the right hand, they're going to be, what do you call it? They're going to start defending themselves for it. Then it starts opening them up with that sweeping right hook to the liver. That little, that jab, sweeping right hook to the body. It starts opening it up with a hook, that lead hook, or the left hook right hand. That little touch hook right hand. Whap back. That's when you got a good jab, that punch always lands. That left hook right hand. Just put the combinations together at long range. When it goes to medium range, well, hey, you can throw. There's more punches you could throw. You know what I mean? Which is there. The body shots, the uppercuts, the uppercut hooks. You know what I mean? The short right hooks, whatever's there. You know what I mean? You got to be. When the game switches from distances, when it changes distances from long to medium to short to long to medium, you got to be able to have. You got to be able to throw all the punches. You got to be able to throw all the effective combinations at the right ranges. Now, when you're in the pocket, one thing I noticed, Tyson, boy, he was tapping that body a lot. That's what he's got to do again. When he gets in the pocket, just rough him up. First, what I would do first, I wouldn't even try to attack the body. I wouldn't even go on the offense. Early rounds, I would just tie him up, wrestle him. Okay, put that 40-pound weight advantage I have over him. Because when you got a lot of weight on you, Joe, and you're wrestling it, boy, it tires you out. You know, by the third, fourth round, you know what I mean? Andre Ward always applied that tactic. He would never attack inside early until he wore you out wrestling with you. Okay, letting you waste your energy. He wouldn't waste his energy. He would let you waste your energy. And Tyson, then once Ward felt that you were tired and you weren't going to throw back in the pocket, he would attack you on the inside. He would start hitting you with body shots. And that's the same thing Tyson did last fight. Just, push him around, wrestle him, push him back in the early rounds. Once in a while, land body shots. But once you see Wilder's legs start getting kind of shaky, he starts getting tired. Then once you get inside, fuck holding him, wrestling him, start attacking that body. Get that range you need. Start ripping them uppercuts, okay, to the body, the hooks around. Then come back upstairs with the uppercut or the hooks, a close range, okay? Now, when you get in the medium range, man, that right hand should land, whatever combinations. The uppercut hook right hand, that's another good combination of medium range. The body shots, whatever, man. Like I said, I'm not in the gym with Tyson, but if I'm in the gym, I say, oh, okay, this will work. If I'm in the gym and during sparring, I would see stuff like, okay, try this combination. It's gonna work. When you get to this distance, this is the plays I want you to use. Okay, this is the plays that's gonna penetrate your defense, like an offensive coordinator in the NFL. Okay, there's certain combinations that work very effectively at a certain range. And to me, I would have to be in the gym with them. Say, okay, this is going to work. When you get right here, this is the combination you're going to want to throw to be effective. If you get real close, these are the combinations you got to throw to be effective. If I was Tyson too, I'd smother him. You know what I mean? Get so close to him, lean on him, get him tired. Then once I'm in close, you know what I do, Joe? Whap, whap. Rip them uppercuts right here, right in the trenches. Whap, whap, whap. Just from here. Don't load up. All you got to do is throw from here. Whap, whap. Right on his chin or his face. Just because, look, when you're 260, 270 pounds, that shit hurts, Joe, especially when you're tired. Okay? Them little, when you get in there, you're wrestling with the guy, you're chest to chest with them. Just create a little space, just a little like this. So your glove could, go through that, a little space for your glove to go through, so you could just rip them uppercuts. Wow! I would hit them 3, 4, 5 times, and both sides, the left too. Bam, bam. You know what I mean? Just to bust them up on the inside, tire them out more. Then if I got some more space, I'd be ripping them to the body shots, breaking his body. See, everybody says when you go to the body, the head follows.
Yep.
Oh shit. When you go to the body, the legs go. Okay? When you go to the body, the legs go. Your legs go. And when your fighter ain't got no legs, he's done. A fighter's biggest asset in the rings is his legs. And you take that away by effective body shots, his legs are going to be very rubbery going down the stretch after the 6th round. He ain't going to be able to move. And when your legs are gone, you can't throw your punches with leverage. Okay, then you know what I mean? Intelligent way you break a guy down, like long jab. When you get inside, rip them body shots, take his legs away. Then them uppercuts, like I said, them little whack, whack, them little short uppercuts, like Chavez, Julio Cesar Chavez. Duran was a master too. Them little, man, dude, Joe. If you're in a clinch, the ref don't break you. Find an opportunity. Okay, you always got to be on attack mode, man. You got to be you can't, just because you're in the trenches, man, you're going to take a little break. Fuck that. Let him take the break while you're beating his ass. Okay? Look for the opportunities. But take it back on then. Take it outside. Like I said, just you got to be careful about his right hand. Just keep establishing that long flagpole stiff jab. One thing I like Tyson, when they stopped when he had him in the corner, Wilder had his hands up like that. Tyson was touching him with a lot of jabs, but he wasn't touching the face. You know what he was touching, Joe? His right hand, his glove. He was touching his glove like this because he didn't want he didn't want he didn't want Wilder to throw that right hand. Okay, so what do? You touch it, you keep it right there. Okay, he was throwing that jab right here, right here. So Tyson couldn't get off and throw it. Then once he touched it a few times, touched that right hand, he knew Tyson wasn't going to throw it. He fired that right hand right down the middle. Yeah, that's IQ. That's IQ. A lot of people didn't pick up on that, but I did. I'm like, oh, okay. He's touching that glove. He's touching that bit. He's touching that right hand because he don't want to get caught with the right hand from Wilder. He's occupying it, so Wilder can't get off. Then that right hand comes right behind it. Oof. And that pretty much led to the avalanche. But yeah, that's it, man. To me, it's just be himself, and whatever. They say they're going to come with a new game plan and all that. Oh, okay, Leon. We'll see. I mean,
well, it seems that for Tyson Fury, there are plenty of ways to skin a cat. The big question, Coach, on pretty much everyone's mind is, how on earth does Deontay Wilder beat this version of Tyson Fury with an extended camp with Javen Sugar Hill-Steward? What are Fury's weaknesses? What are the keys to victory for Deontay Wilder, sir?
Well, if he gets kind of lax, okay, he loses focus, he'll get caught. You always respect a guy that can punch like Wilder. You always are on the alert, 110%. Every round from the 3-minute mark to the 1 second mark. Okay, always alert. Don't get lackadaisical. That first fight when he got knocked down twice, he got lax a couple times, especially the second knockdown. Okay, be on alert when you're not doing nothing. You're taking a little breather, but making sure your defense against that right hand is top level, or you're gonna get hit with that right hand. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's, to me, that's his mental lapses, I call it. Okay. Yeah, don't get too relaxed in there. Always respect his power. Always be on alert. Okay.
So and looking at Tyson Fury, he's a chameleon in the ring. For a big guy like that, he moves extremely well. He can fight from mid to long range extremely well. He also can rough you up and use his weight and his size to his advantage on the inside. He throws good, short, compact shots on the inside. Do you see any weaknesses, Coach, in Tyson Fury's game other than just him having a mental lapse and resetting? And one thing that Javen's not going to divulge on the air, well, he told me over the phone, he said that he corrected this. It was a tell that Tyson Fury, a bad habit that he used to have, in which he used to rub his nose whenever he reset. He took that away. Other than that, do you see any weaknesses of Tyson Fury, sir?
Well, that's all right to do that, Joe, if you're out of range. If you're out of range of his right hand, go kick back, reset. But if you're in range of his right hand, forget about it, man. Yeah. All I'm saying is when you're in range of Deontay Wilder's right hand, be careful. If you want to take a little breather, take a few steps back, out of range. Move around the ring, okay? Let your gas tank refuel. Yeah, as I call it.
Well, our brother Muhammad asked, Coach, what if the fight reaches the 8th round and Fury has been using energy looking for the KO and didn't get it? Would the remaining rounds give Wilder the opportunity to finish strong? Your thoughts on that?
Fury's smart, man. He knows when you look, a guy with a good IQ, he knows not to put the pedal to the metal the whole time, because he knows by the 8th, 9th round, or the gas tank is going to be on low. He knows how to pace himself. Okay, he knows when to put his foot on the pedal. He knows when to take his foot off the pedal. Okay, to conserve his energy. Okay, to not run low on fuel. That's all comes with experience, Muhammad. You know what I mean? Good veteran fighters, they know how to pace themselves through a 12-round fight. They know it's a grueling marathon. It ain't no sprint. All right. Amateur, inexperienced fighters, They do that. You know what I mean? They go out from round, you know what I mean? And they're over anxious and they waste a lot of energy. By the time they get to 6 rounds, they're like, they don't know how to pace themselves. I call it knowing when to put the foot on the pedal, knowing when to take the foot off the pedal. Because it's a 12-round fight now. It's a grueling marathon. It ain't an amateur fight. It's not 3 rounds where, you got to go guns a-blazing,
Yeah, these are heavyweights. You're going to see a more, it's highly unlikely that you're going to see the kind of pace that Alexander Usyk put forth last Saturday, right? That's highly unlikely when you're talking about two behemoths in the ring like Wilder and Fury. So, Coach, I'm a little confused. So your keys to victory for Deontay Wilder is land the big right hand, swing for the fences, and hope that you hit something.
You really think he's going to outbox this guy? If he didn't look,
nope.
He got his ass whooped the last fight because you saw the disparity of skill. He was getting his ass whooped the first fight until he got those knockdowns that saved the fight. Okay. There's a big disparity of skill and boxing IQ in this fight. And like I said, it comes from Wilder not having the big amateur background, not having a lot of professional experience, like a guy like Fury, who's been around this shit since he's a little kid in the amateurs and all that stuff. You know what I mean? He grew into the sport. Okay. He developed those levels to his game growing up from a little kid. Wilder got in this shit when he was 19 years old. He's missing a big chunk of the layers or levels that Fury has. Boxing IQ, just when you box, when you've been boxing this long, man, when you've been boxing as long as guys like Usyk or Fury, they know, you know what I mean? That's ingrained in their mind. It's in their heart. It's in their DNA. You know what I mean?
Coach, our brother Ray brings up, he says, well, Triple G had an extensive amateur experience. Canelo didn't. Does that make Canelo special? Coach, I guess
Canelo had around 60 amateur fights. Don't get that bullshit. I hear that bullshit all the time. Oh, he didn't have a lot of amateur fights. I talked to his brother Rigoberto. He had maybe like 65 amateur fights. He turned pro when he was young. But you can see the experience Triple G has. But Canelo's, he's a God-given fighter, okay? He has a lot of God-given gifts that you can't teach, mainly his reflexes, his ability to counterpunch cat quick, okay? Stuff like that. So he's a rare exception. I'm going by a majority of the fighters out there, okay? The guys with big amateur backgrounds have a huge advantage over guys that don't. I'm going by the percentages, 95 out of 100.
Indeed. So, Coach, we go look at the odds now. The odds as of today, from the book that we always recognize, BetMGM out of Vegas, Tyson Fury is currently listed as the minus 325 or a 3.25 to 1 betting favorite, with Deontay Wilder being at a plus 230 or a slightly larger than 2 to 1 betting underdog. Would you agree with those odds, or do you think they should be wider, considering the nature of Fury's victory in the second fight?
They're accurate because what's his name can punch, so they don't want to make it a 5-6 to 1, make them a 5 to 6 to 1 underdog because they're in it to make money, Joe. So they always make those odds in the house's favor so they can make money. Okay.
Well, Coach, when you look at, before you make your prediction, right, and what you think is going to happen, when you look at the fight between Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk, Anthony Joshua made the terrible miscalculation, he and his team, of trying to box the, brilliant technician and the technical boxer, right? In the second fight between Wilder and Fury, he attempted to try and outbox the much more technically proficient boxer as well. And he got his ass whooped. In this fight, how do you see Deontay Wilder coming out and performing? Do you think he just adopts the role of predator once again instead of just laying back and just waiting on Tyson Fury, which was a terrible miscalculation as well?
He comes to Fury. Fury's going to pick him apart. He's going to be easier to hit. Okay. He's going to be easier to hit with that jab. All right. Fury's long. I call it. He's got a long flagpole, stiff jab that he puts in your face and he busts you up. That's his first weapon he uses to break it down. And that's what he did with Wilder. You know, a guy, when you come at a guy, you know, you're going to give, you know, there's going to be some holes in your defense. You're going to give up defense to be more offensive. So, you know, he's going to get hit more, my opinion.
Wow.
Then once he starts getting hit more, he'll be more tentative and everything. So, but yeah, just be careful. Like I said, me personally, I think he's going to be tentative the whole fight. He's going to box and move and make sure he don't get hit. He going to play safety first, me personally.
Wow. So, Coach, how do you see this fight playing out?
Unless he lands that right hand.
How long
Unless
or
he
how
lands
short?
that right hand, he'll grow some.
Yeah, so how do you see this fight playing out? What's your official prediction, Coach?
Right hand. Unless he lands that right hand, he'll grow more. He'll grow more balls. But if the fight is being uncomfortable for him, and you know he just can't get into rhythm or can't land any of them big right hands, he'll be more tentative. He'll just do it to. He'll just basically survive. Go on survival mode.
So how do you see this fight playing out, Coach?
The way I play, the way I said it, you know, you don't ever like Sugarhead says, you never know how a fight's gonna play out. You just figure it out in the ring. You know, I just know that, you know, you just stick to your game plan. I mean, I would stick to my game plan, which is controlling range and distance with that flagpole jab. Okay, and everything will come from there. Okay, you know, when you get inside, wrestle him a lot in the early rounds. You know, use all that weight. That big weight advantage he has on Wilder and getting tired and all that, then everything will come. And then, you know, as the fight progresses, Wilder's high boxing IQ, he'll figure out what he has to do. But what's his name? I don't know what chief cheerleader's teaching him. You know what I mean? You know, trying to be a better boxer. You don't know until you get in the fight. But if he's trying to be a better boxer, he's going to get his ass whooped. Okay?
Yep.
It'll take longer because he'll be more defensive, more safety first, less tentative, but he'll still get his ass whooped. You know what I mean? But he's still got to be careful, Fury, because Wilder, very dangerous, very, very dangerous. One of the most dangerous fighters in boxing. I say, shit, probably top 2 if he hits you.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah, he's
So
a dangerous motherfucker. Anytime you can't get lax, you got to be mentally alert.
Yep. So despite all the claims of Team Fury, Coach Gogy Frank asks, if you're betting, what is the betting on rounds? Do you see it going before or past round 6?
I hate one of those predict the future. If I was putting my money after 6. Yeah.
After 6. Yeah.
After 6 rounds.
And once again, that's Gogy's insights. He's seeing as soon as he starts getting touched up, he'll become more tentative and take less risks, giving Tyson Fury less opportunities to score effectively. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Brother Ray asks,
that's what I'm seeing.
You know what, Coach Gogy? It's hard to argue with you ever. I mean, you're right probably about 90 to 95% of the time, which is better than most sports books. Brother Ray said, I just bought Victor Conti's Snack Fighter stack. Am I throwing my money away, Coach?
Fuck, I don't even know. I never had that stuff, so I don't know. Victor Conti is he's in the nutritional supplement business, so I don't know. You know, a lot of fighters take that shit because they get it for free from Victor. Okay.
Yep.
Me personally, I don't buy that shit. You know what I mean? So, but a lot of fighters, He gives shit away to fighters so they can promote it and all that. But I don't know if it's good or I've never done it before, so I can't comment.
Yeah. Well, so thank you for your question, Ray. But Coach, you know what? I tell you what, it's going to be a really interesting fight. What are your thoughts on the co-main event, W.A.W versus Frank Sanchez? In your mind, who gets the nod? Who comes away with the victory, sir?
W.A.W can punch. That big right hand. If he hits Sanchez, oof. Oh, yeah. Besides that, he ain't got shit. He got a big right hand. A stiff jab. If he works it effectively, it's gonna make the fight easier. But that Sanchez ain't got shit. You know what I mean? He ain't got shit.
Yeah, they could. Well, right now on most race and sports books, Frank Sanchez is listed as the slight betting favorite on MGM or BetMGM. They have him listed as a minus 200, with W.A.W listed as the plus 150. Apparently, they think Frank Sanchez is going to outbox and take away the right hand of W.A.W.
Could do. W.A.W ain't got shit. He's got a big jab. He's got a good stiff jab when he uses it and a big right hand. Besides that, he ain't got. He's straight and he's stiff, straight up and stiff. Doesn't move his head a lot. Doesn't move his feet a lot. You know what I mean? Not really, athletically gifted or coordinated. You know what I mean? Sanchez, Sanchez, I think, comes from the Cuban background, so he does have a lot of amateur experience and everything. So, when you got that amateur experience, you got the ability to think and adapt better, and use all that experience to outsmart you. Which jogged me. He's raw and green. You know what I mean? So I won. Yeah, that's a what do you call it? That's a fair assessment of the odds.
Indeed. Now, when you look at Robert Hellenius, they have him listed as the 3-1 betting favorite, with Adam Kalnacki listed as the 2-1 betting underdog. In your opinion, does this fight go differently than the first one?
If he gets hit, forget about it. That boy can punch, that Hellenius.
Yep.
No, what's the guy's name? Hellenius?
Robert Hellenius, yes, the Nordic Nightmare. He's going to be in the second preliminary bout.
Man, look, that fucking guy, that Polish guy ain't got no defense. I haven't even thought about this fight. I'm just going from what I remember. That Polish guy ain't got no defense. He's right in front of you. This Hellenius can punch. It's a style made for Hellenius. You got a guy that's a punching bag with no defense right in front of you. It's made for a puncher like Hellenius. That's me. But like I said, I haven't even thought about that fight. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot all about that one.
Well, we go to Frank. Frank says, Joe, can you give your personal prediction also, based on your conversations with Sugar? Fury's promising inside 6. Do you think this will happen, or are you with Gogy? Guys, it's been my experience that it's silly to disagree with Coach Gogy. His experience points him to this direction. And whenever I have a feeling that something is going to go differently, my internal clock is always wrong. If Coach Gogy thinks...
I just go off experience in my gut.
That's it. And Coach Gogy's been around the sports.
I go off my intuition.
Yep, much longer than all of us. In my opinion, they're going to try. But as soon as Wilder starts getting touched up, yes, I will agree with Coach. He's going to start to get a little more tentative, and he's going to try not to win the fight, but just not to get knocked out. So that'll increase the fight into the later rounds. I'm with Gogy. I think it's going to go past 6 once again. Brother Ray says, Coach, go ahead, sir.
The longer Wilder can extend the punch, the higher odds he can land that right hand. Okay.
Well, we'll see, Coach. We'll see what happens on Saturday. But yeah, in my opinion, Fury wins this fight quite handily. In fact, there's only one way he can lose, is if he gets touched with that right hand. And that's it. Miss Lisa Bales, thank you for hanging with us. She says, I'm supporting W.A.W. A lot of people are.
Yeah.
Coach Ronnie stated on his show that they were actually preparing for Frank Sanchez down the road. So who knows? We may be able to see W.A.W. come up with the slight upset victory. Coach, Muhammad asks, if Wilder knocks out Fury, that's a big if, do you see him dominating Usyk, Joshua, White, and Ruiz?
Muhammad, let's just get through this fight first. One at a time. It's hard to yeah.
Thank you for hanging with us, Frank. My sister, Lady Shan, says, I see Fury winning in round 7, just like the last fight. You know?
You never know.
You never know. He may be like, look, guys, the heavyweight division, because both guys can punch, it truly is the theater of the unexpected, more so than any other division. So, yeah, he always has that ultimate neutralizer, Deontay Wilder, so you can never count him out. But when you look at how versatile Tyson Fury is, the different tools he has in his arsenal, the ability to fight from multiple ranges, the ability to fight from different stances, in my opinion, guys, don't be surprised. And I think this may be what John Fury was alluding to in a different strategy. Don't be surprised if Tyson Fury tries to eliminate that Deontay Wilder jab and switches to southpaw, cracks him with that check right hook. Okay? Don't be surprised if you see him fight from multiple ranges or stances.
Joe, when he's a southpaw, he
it leaves him susceptible to the right hand.
Effective.
Yeah.
But he's not as effective. Okay, he's effective when he's working that long jab. That's when he's the safest and when he has everything under control. So if he does that, I don't know. To me, you got to establish your jab on Wilder. You got to get that jab in his face, start breaking him down. From the southpaw position, he doesn't have a dominant jab. That's what I'm trying to say.
You're right about that, Coach. Lady Shan also says, the longer Wilder's in there, is that worse for Tyson Fury?
It's not worse. It keeps him in the fight because that right hand can land anytime.
Indeed. Indeed.
He could be getting his ass whooped, Lady Chan, for 11 rounds. All of a sudden, the 12th round, a minute and a half to go in the 12th round, bam, that right hand lands.
Yep. We have seen him carry his power late in the fight. Yep.
He's a home run hitter, that Deontay Wilder, with that right hand. He can hit it out of the park at any time. And he keeps his power from round 1 to round 12, like a David Tua used to do. He's big left hooker. He can carries that power for all 12 rounds.
Oof. Boy, you had legs the size of tree trunks, Coach.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Tua. Yeah.
Frank has one last question.
That's why I say, man.
Yes, sir.
That's why I say you wrestle, if the fight's inside, you tie him up, wrestle him a lot, let him get him tired, put that weight on him, lean on him and all that. Boy, that'll start getting you tired. That'll start taking your legs away. Then when you get when you get those opportunities to hit the body, take it. Them uppercuts, them right uppercuts inside. Okay, the ones I said, I was explaining, them little short ones right here. Whack, whack. Don't even load up back. Just from here, just shoot it. Whack. Just rotate your shoulders. Whack. And them little bitty gloves, it's gonna bust your face up.
Yep.
And along with that jab, it's gonna bust your face up even more. But hit the body. I really believe Wilder doesn't take good body punches. Okay.
Yeah.
I really believe you hit that damn body, his legs are gonna crumble like little toothpicks. So work on that body. That's what I would do if I would train him. Like I said, I'm not Sugar. Sure, I don't know how Sugar is training him, but me, I'd hit that body every time I get a chance, man. You know,
Well, that brings us
at close quarters. What's his name can't fight inside Wilder, and that's what Fury needs to take advantage of them opportunities.
Indeed. So that brings us to Ray Ray, and we'll get back to Frank and Miss Lady Chan's comments. Brother Ray Ray says, does having skinny legs hurt a fighter, coach? And is running all the time bad for fighters?
If you overdo it, yeah. I mean, one of a coach's responsibilities is to monitor how many miles a fighter's running. If he's doing it, if he's running too much, you'll see it in the gym. You know, his legs are kind of he has no pop or no spring in his legs. Okay, he's overdoing it on the road. So you gotta running. Bruce Lee said, "Running is the king of all exercises." You gotta do the right amount. Okay, to get your conditioning, your heart, your lungs, your wind to max, and of course to get your legs strong and everything. But the legs are running is more for the lungs, cardio. Okay, cardiovascular. To build your cardiovascular system up. And once you start putting some sprints in there, mixing some wind sprints in there, it builds up your anaerobic system. You know what I mean? Where your threshold, your oxygen threshold decreases, and that's when fatigue starts settling in the ring. But just because you're tired doesn't mean you got to fight through fatigue in a fight. You got to fight. You got to learn to fight when you're tired, I would say. So, and like I said, you got to a coach and monitor his fighters running. I do all the time. I tell them, okay, run this minute a day. Take this day off. Okay, if I have a fighter run 3 days straight, I have him take a day off. Oh, I know the next day he'll come back in the gym. He's a lot more fresher with his legs and everything. You got, especially if you got skinny legs. A guy with skinny legs, I do more plyometrics, weight training, a little bit of weight training, but plyometrics, to build the legs up, to build the core up, swimming. But if a fighter got skinny legs, I got to get him stronger, because ain't no way he's going to be able to, compete in a good 12-round fight effectively. The legs are the key. That's your base. That's your foundation. If you ain't got no legs going into the back half of the fight, boy, you're screwed. You're fucked. You lose the leverage or snap on your punches. You lose the ability to move, to react. Your balance is off. You ain't got no leverage on your punches, snap, and everything. So yeah, I would work a lot on strengthening his leg. Not so much upper body, but a lot of leg work. Strength, especially between fights, getting his legs stronger between fights. So when you go into camp, you don't have to worry about all that shit.
Well, someone forgot to pass that memo to Malik Scott.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for your question, Brother Ray Ray. And Frank says, one last question. Well, it doesn't have to be, Brother Frank. Thank you for sticking with us this long. Do you think Wilder will make it to the points, Coach Gogy?
Mean the decision?
Yep.
If he plays it safe, safety first, goes in there and survive. Yeah, all fighters that go in there just to survive and play it safety first. Yeah, they usually make it. They usually go to full decision and everything. But Wilder, I gotta admit, he's got balls, he's got heart. You know what I mean? He's got fight in him. Okay. After he's getting his ass whooped, he always, even though he was getting his ass whooped the whole fight, he was always still in there fighting, still in there competing to the very end. Even when Mark Breland stopped the fight, he was so pissed off. Yeah, that reminds me of Diego Corrales, man. Diego Corrales was like that. You know what I mean? To him, it's shame and dishonor when a ref stops the fight.
Yep. Well, we look. We'll find out this Saturday, guys. But yeah, if Deontay Wilder, is not enjoying it in the trenches, yeah, look for him to fight safety first and try to keep the fight at a distance just to make it to the final bell. Lady Chan says, personally, I think Fury is overrated. Just my humble opinion. Good boxer, but overrated. My question to you is, Lady Chan, overrated compared to whom?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Okay.
I don't know. He's a good fighter.
He is.
He's a heavyweight champ of the world.
Yep, he's a heavyweight champion for a reason. He beat Vladimir Klitschko. He beat an undefeated Deontay Wilder, arguably twice. He's going to beat him a third time, more than likely. Lisa Bales agrees. Yeah. Sounds like a couple people just don't like Tyson Fury.
Yeah,
because I'm trying to figure out how is he overrated. He moves extremely well for a giant man of 6'9". He's ambidextrous. He's shockingly athletic. And now he's incorporated power into his fight strategy. How is that overrated? Interesting. Okay, let's see. Sid, UK, thank you for joining us, brother. Says, Fury has bandwagon jumping fans. I remember when people used to call him boring. Make no mistake about this, guys. He is not beneath, or he is not above stinking out the joint to get a victory. He's shown that several times. Go look at his fight against Steve Cunningham.
He's gotten better over the years, okay?
He has gotten better. Yep.
Yeah, so he's grown over the years, okay? So whatever is in the past is in the past. He's a lot better than what he was, back then.
Indeed. Minnie Mill, thank you for hanging with us, brother. Uh-oh. We'll go to this topic in just 1 second. We just want to finish out all the questions regarding Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. Let's see. Lady Chan says, he's overrated. His resume has massive holes in it. Okay. Now, once again, the resume argument. For a very long time, many fighters didn't want to take on Tyson Fury. Once again, you cannot criticize the resume of a fighter who's somewhat avoided. One, he wasn't tied to a very influential promoter. Two, why would you want to fight that guy with little to no fan base? He's never been the ticket seller that Anthony Joshua was. So for a very lengthy period of his professional career, most people didn't see any reward in stepping in the ring with Tyson Fury. Look what happened when Vladimir finally did, right? David Hay had 2 opportunities, and he got out of both fights. Once again, you can't criticize somewhat of an avoided fighter for having holes in his resume. But I tell you what, we've got to wrap this guys up in just a moment. Coach Gogy has a big day ahead of him tomorrow. Let's see. Is his resume overrated or skill overrated? Are you conflating the two? Yep. Coach, your final thoughts before we give everyone a happy and good Sunday evening.
No, it should be a good fight next week. I'm interested. There's only, a couple more thousand tickets to be sold before it's sold out.
Yep.
A lot of intrigue. I don't live in the U.S., so I don't know what kind of PR it's getting right now. But to me, I don't know. Everybody thinks, there shouldn't be a rematch because of the way he looked in the second fight, Wilder. But goddamn, when you can punch like that, it always makes a fight intriguing. So yeah, I'm very looking forward to this fight. Plus, they're heavyweights. I love a good heavyweight scrap.
Indeed, guys. And once again, from what I've been told by Bruce Trampler, that they're expecting a sellout throughout fight week.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, guys, everything always blows up during fight week. The media is going to be in attendance. They should have a very, healthy walk-up or people interested in tickets during fight week. So they are expecting a sellout by fight time. And that's going to just about do it, guys. Want to thank you all for joining us. And if in case you missed any part of the show, it's going to be available as soon as we sign off. Want to thank everyone for tuning in. And guys, have fun enjoying the fight this Saturday. On behalf of Coach James Gogy, I'm Joseph Herron. You've been listening to War Week Radio. Have a great Sunday evening, everybody.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya?
Who'd have thought they'd lead ya?
Back here where we need ya.
Back here where we need ya.
Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.